The Washington quarter dollar is one of the most iconic and beloved coins in American history, representing not only the nation's pride but also decades of fascinating transitions in minting, metal composition, and design evolution that make it one of the most collectible coins in U.S. numismatics. First introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this coin was never originally intended to become a regular issue, yet it has remained in circulation for over 90 years, undergoing numerous changes and producing some of the most valuable and sought-after varieties in the world of coin collecting. The original 1932 Washington quarter was made of 90% silver and 10% copper, with a total weight of 6.25 grams and a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and was designed by John Flanagan, who depicted a left-facing bust of George Washington on the obverse and a majestic eagle with spread wings on the reverse. Only two mints produced the quarter in its debut year, the Philadelphia Mint and the San Francisco Mint, but it was the 1932D and 1932S issues that became legendary due to their extremely low mintages. The 1932D had a mintage of just 436,800 pieces, while the 1932S followed closely with 408,000, both of which are now highly coveted by collectors and considered key dates in the entire Washington quarter series. High-grade uncirculated examples of these coins can reach astronomical prices, with pristine mint-state specimens commanding tens of thousands of dollars at auction, especially when certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. For instance, a 1932D in MS66 condition has sold for well over $80,000, while a 1932S in similar condition fetched nearly $90,000, making them the crown jewels of early Washington quarters. But beyond these famous rarities, the series hides countless other treasures that many collectors overlook: double dies, transitional errors, and striking variations that can turn an ordinary-looking coin into a small fortune. From 1934 onward, regular production resumed, and quarters continued in the 90% silver format until 1964, when the silver composition was removed in response to the rising cost of precious metal and the nationwide coin shortage of the early 1960s. The new clad quarters introduced in 1965 featured an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, reducing intrinsic value but ensuring durability for circulation. However, during this transitional year, a small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964. These transitional era coins are now among the most valuable of all Washington quarters, with examples fetching over $7,000 to $12,000 depending on grade. Similarly, the 1970 S-proof quarter struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter planchet shocked the numismatic community when it sold for over $35,000, and the 1964 D double die obverse variety, showing strong doubling in inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust, has reached values exceeding $10,000 in high mint state. Even the 1950 D/S over mintmark and 1950 S/D over mintmark varieties, subtle but real minting anomalies, have added intrigue and value to mid-century issues. The silver Washington quarters from 1932 to 1964 are highly collectible not just for their silver content but for their design consistency and rich minting history. Proof versions, struck mainly in Philadelphia until 1968, offer mirror-like fields and frosted details that continue to attract enthusiasts who cherish the beauty of vintage American coinage. As the 1970s approached, the Washington quarter saw another era of transformation with the advent of commemorative designs and new technologies in minting. In 1976, to celebrate the United States bicentennial, the Mint released a special dual-dated 1776 to 1976 quarter featuring Jack L. R's reverse design of a colonial drummer and a victory torch surrounded by 13 stars representing the original colonies. These bicentennial quarters were minted in both copper-nickel clad and 40% silver compositions, with the latter available only in special collector sets, and while billions were produced, pristine uncirculated and proof silver examples can still fetch strong prices today, particularly when graded PR70 or MS67+. A 1976 S silver proof, for instance, can sell for $500 to $1,000 depending on the depth of cameo contrast and strike quality. Moving into the 1980s and 1990s, subtle changes in hub design and strike characteristics created varieties that continue to be sought after, such as the 1983 P and 1983 D quarters, which, despite being clad and common, are surprisingly scarce in high mint state condition due to poor strike quality that year, making superb gems worth hundreds. In 1982 and 1983, no official mint sets were produced, meaning that high-grade circulation strikes from these years are particularly rare, adding another layer of challenge for collectors building complete sets. Then, in 1999, the U.S. Mint revolutionized modern coin collecting with the launch of the 50-state quarters program, honoring each U.S. state with its own unique reverse design over a 10-year span. The series captivated the public, introducing millions to numismatics, and certain issues, such as the 1999 P. Delaware Spitting Horse variety or the 2004 D. Wisconsin Extra Leaf High and Extra Leaf Low, became instantly famous for their minting anomalies, fetching hundreds or even thousands of dollars. During this modern era, the Washington portrait remained the consistent face of the quarter, but the reverse designs changed dramatically, reflecting national landmarks, flora, fauna, and state symbols. After the state quarters came the 2009 D.C. and U.S. Territory series, followed by the America the Beautiful Quarters, 2010 to 2021, which celebrated national parks and monuments from each state and territory. This era produced yet another generation of collectible treasures, including the elusive 2019 to 2020 W. Mint Mark quarters struck at the West Point Mint. These were the first circulating coins in U.S. history to bear the W. Mint Mark, and only 2 million of each design were released directly into circulation, making them modern rarities instantly sought after by collectors. A single 2020 WV75 Privy Mark quarter, honoring the 75th anniversary of World War II's end, in perfect MS-67 or MS-68 condition, can command prices of $1,000 to $2,000 or more. Adding to the excitement, minting errors like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks continue to emerge on modern issues, reminding collectors that even contemporary coins can hide exceptional value. Today, the Washington quarter dollar remains a cornerstone of U.S. coinage and a fascinating study of how art, history, and economics intersect. Its design evolution, from the original Flanagan eagle reverse to the modern commemorative motifs, tells the story of America's progress and pride. Collectors value not only the Silver Era coins but also clad and modern issues for their unique varieties and minting stories. Whether you're examining a 1932 D silver quarter, a 1965 transitional era, or a rare 2020 WV75 piece, each Washington quarter carries a fragment of numismatic history and potential worth that far exceeds its face value. The Washington quarter dollar, in all its forms, stands as a shining emblem of America's enduring spirit, its artistic heritage, and its evolving economy, a true reflection of how a simple 25-cent piece became one of the most extraordinary coins in U.S. history. As we move deeper into the fascinating world of the Washington quarter dollar, it becomes clear that this coin is more than just currency. It's a living piece of American heritage that continues to tell stories through every strike, mint mark, and error that has ever left the presses of the U.S. Mint. Collectors around the world are captivated by the incredible diversity within this series, from early silver issues to the most modern designs. But what truly makes the Washington quarter stand out are the astonishing prices these coins have fetched at major auctions. Over the years, several examples have stunned the numismatic community with record-breaking results that transformed what was once a simple 25-cent piece into a treasure worth more than a luxury car or even a house. Among these legendary sales, the 1932 D Washington quarter stands at the top as a key date and collector favorite, with a pristine MS-67 example once selling for nearly $90,000, while its twin counterpart, the 1932 S, achieved an equally impressive result of over $80,000 in similar condition. But perhaps even more astonishing was the discovery of a 1943 Washington quarter struck on a bronze Lincoln cent planchet, a rare mint error that sold for over $40,000, reminding collectors that mistakes in the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into a priceless gem. Another phenomenal sale involved the 1950 D/S over mint mark variety, a subtle yet powerful rarity that crossed the $10,000 mark, while the 1964 D double die obverse quarter, displaying clear doubling in the motto and inscriptions, fetched over $12,000 in mint state. In more recent years, the 1970 S-proof quarter struck on a 1941 Canadian quarter planchet shocked collectors when it sold for more than $35,000, proving that modern minting anomalies can still carry astonishing value. Even contemporary examples like the 2019 W quarters, produced in extremely limited numbers with the West Point mint mark, have generated immense buzz, with the 2020 W V75 Privy end of World War II commemorative quarter reaching over $2,000 in flawless MS-68 condition. These breathtaking sales demonstrate how the Washington quarter has evolved from a simple circulating coin into one of the most dynamic and rewarding areas in all of numismatics. For new collectors entering the hobby, understanding what makes a Washington quarter valuable is essential. Condition, rarity, and demand all play major roles, but even more important is recognizing unique attributes such as mint marks, strike quality, and die varieties. Coins from the early silver era, 1932 to 1964, naturally command higher premiums due to their metal content and historical appeal, while eras and low mintage years often multiply those values exponentially. Collectors are also drawn to proof and special mint set issues, particularly those from the 1950s and 1960s, as these showcase exceptional mirror-like finishes and intricate design details. For instance, a 1950 proof quarter graded PR68 Deep Cameo can bring several $1,000s because of its immaculate preservation and dramatic contrast. Likewise, transitional pieces, like the 1965 silver-clad Error, are among the most pursued in the entire series, fetching upwards of $10,000 depending on weight and authenticity verification. It's not uncommon for passionate hobbyists to search through pocket change, inherited coin jars, or old rolls in hopes of uncovering a hidden gem, and while finding a 1932D or 1932S in circulation today is nearly impossible, transitional and modern varieties such as the Wisconsin Extra Leaf or the Minnesota Double Die are still occasionally found by lucky searchers. The artistry of the Washington Quarter is another reason for its enduring popularity. John Flanagan original design, featuring the dignified left-facing portrait of George Washington, has become a timeless symbol of leadership and freedom. Even as the reverse designs evolved, from the Eagle to the 50-state quarters, to the America the Beautiful series, the obverse retained its classic appearance with only minor refinements to lettering and relief. This continuity gives the coin both historical consistency and visual strength, making it instantly recognizable even to non-collectors. The 1976 Bicentennial Quarter, with its special dual date and drummer reverse, stands as a favorite among both nostalgic Americans and international collectors who appreciate its symbolic representation of independence. Though billions were produced, pristine 40% silver examples and high-grade proofs still achieve impressive prices, especially in top populations with deep cameo contrasts. Even more, the modern quarters struck at West Point with their W mint mark have reintroduced excitement into everyday circulation finds, reminding the public that valuable coins can still appear in the most ordinary places. Collectors who pursue full Washington quarter sets, covering every year, mint, and major variety, often describe it as a lifelong journey. With over 90 years of production and countless varieties, building a complete set is both challenging and deeply rewarding. Some pursue it by era, focusing on silver quarters, state quarters, or America the Beautiful issues, while others aim for high-grade registry sets where competition is fierce and every incremental grade point can add thousands to a coin's value. The grading scale used by the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, and Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, ranges from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70, and it's in those top mint state and proof grades where Washington quarters truly shine. Coins graded MS67, MS68, or PR70 are the pinnacle of perfection and can sell for enormous premiums compared to average uncirculated examples. Proper storage, handling, and authentication play critical roles in preserving value, as even a small scratch or touch can reduce a coin's worth significantly. Collectors are advised to store coins in protective holders, avoid cleaning them, and consider professional grading to maximize their long-term potential. The Washington Quarter's legacy continues today through the American Women Quarters program, launched in 2022, featuring influential female figures from U.S. history such as Maya Angelou, Sally Ride, and Eleanor Roosevelt. Each coin bears Washington's portrait on the obverse but reimagined from Laura Garden Fraser's original design proposal, which had been overlooked in 1932 but now rightfully restored, bringing the story full circle. This new generation of quarters bridges past and present, connecting the elegance of classical design with the evolving story of America's cultural heritage. The future of the Washington quarter dollar remains as bright as ever, with collectors eagerly awaiting each new release and continuing to cherish the historic issues that started it all nearly a century ago. Whether it's the thrill of discovering a rare mint error, the pride of completing a high-grade set, or simply the joy of holding a piece of history in your hand, the Washington Quarter offers endless fascination for collectors of every level. Its journey from the silver strikes of 1932 to today's modern commemoratives proves that even a coin worth just 25 cents in face value can embody immeasurable historical and emotional worth. For those who seek to learn, explore, and collect, the Washington Quarter stands as a gateway into the world of numismatics, where patience, curiosity, and passion come together to uncover treasures hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching.